Guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Keisha. You're watching Kwik Cape Creation. You all are doing well today. It is a few days before the holiday, and I was able to get out today to get some light shopping done before the holiday rush. So I'm happy to be back home early in the day, and I'm gonna start my holiday prep in a little while. But I wanted to make sure that I came on here to share with you all before it became too late my experience in making my cape. I shared with you guys probably back in October that I wanted to make a cape for the fall, and I finally got it done. I did the Kwik Sew Cape pattern K4224, and I did view A. I will say that it did not turn out exactly how I wanted it to, but I am overall not too upset with how it turned out. The thing that I struggled with the most in making this cape was the lining, and I realized that I really need to work on that skill. So I do plan to take some time in 2025 to work on learning how to insert linings on my garment makes. I will probably try to start off with something small like a skirt, something simple, and then work my way up to being able to do a lining and maybe a cape for next year. And all in all, the cape did not turn out too bad, other than the lining not being in the cape. I did not put the facing on that was required for the cape, and I had a little bit of a hiccup with the buttonhole to keep the cape closed at the very top. I will share with you all what I did in terms of the cape and what's required for, notions and sizing and pattern pieces and things like that. So I did do a size large, and that was a perfect fit for me because, as you know, with the cape, it just drapes over your body, so there's no need to have it fit tight, or if it was too big, it'd be fine too. But I do feel like the large for me was a perfect size. And I did use a fabric I purchased from Joann last fall. Actually, I bought a couple of pieces of flannel fabric. So I went and, I'm sorry, not flannel, it was fleece fabric. So I went ahead and used that, and it was 60 inches wide, and that required me to have or use 2 3/4 yards of fabric. So I chose a nice cobalt blue, and I like that color, and it turned out pretty nice. It did also require me to use fusible interface, and again, I used that for the facing, which the facing never made it to the cape. It's actually sitting over here as we speak in one of my storage bags. I will probably use that facing for something else as like a scrap project, but it didn't work out for my cape, so I have that on the side here. But again, fusible interface, if you had 18 inches or 20 inch wide, you would be required to have a fabric sizing of 1 7/8 yards of fabric. Again, there was a lining required, but there was only one measurement for the lining, and that was that of 1 7/8 inches, and that would be for a 45-inch wide fabric. So the notions on this pattern, if I'm not mistaken, it did require me to use 2 1-inch buttons, but I did not use the 2 1-inch buttons because the buttons I purchased to match my fabric were buttons I purchased from a store not far from my home, and they weren't cheap buttons. So I thought I would just save those buttons for another garment make that I could feel more confident in, because I just didn't want to waste those buttons on this cape this go around. So what I ended up using was a 1 1/4 inch button that I had from an assortment of buttons I think I purchased from Joann Fabrics probably last year or year before. I got a big pack of just all types of colors or assorted buttons. I used something out of there. But the problem I had was that when I wanted to sew my buttonhole using that button, my buttonhole gadget, or my buttonhole foot for my machine, it didn't go as wide as the button itself. So I end up having to create a hole for my button, and I kind of messed that up a little bit. what I did was I measured off what I thought would be a wide enough line to fit the button in. And I should have just stopped there, but I tried to be a little creative and wanted to make it look like a buttonhole. And I end up stretching that slot, or that little slit I made, too wide, so that the button itself now doesn't sit snugly in the hole. So I wish I had just stopped ahead of time when I made the slot with my rotary cutter, but I didn't, and now my hole is a little bigger than what it should be. But I mean, honestly, the cape is not bad. Again, I could put it on if I'm like running out to walk the dog or picking the kids up for school and don't want to put on something really, really heavy. That would really like help me out for something like that. It did only require 5 pattern pieces, and when I counted the steps I needed to do to make view A, it said 11, but it really was more than 11, because in some cases where step 9, there may have been more than one part to step 9, like maybe for the collar, I'll say. It may have been like 9, and then like 9A, 9B. Now, the pattern didn't actually call out 9A, 9B, but once you got to that part of the instructions, it wasn't just one part to finish off that piece of the garment. You had to do something else to finish off that part of that garment construction. I hope that makes sense. And for the needle and some settings, just some basic stuff, I used a 7511 needle. My machine stitch length was a 3.0, and as with most patterns, your seam allowance on this is a 5/8 inch seam allowance. So again, I think I'm happy with it for the most part, in terms of just throwing it on, go run an errand, maybe not get out the cars or something like that. But I don't know that I would do this one again necessarily, because I know there are many other cape patterns out there. But I do want to do one that does have a lining, and I believe there is one out there by Ellie and Mac. So I will probably keep that one in mind when I'm ready to do another one. Probably not this year, although I did want to do one for Christmas. I just don't think I'm going to have the bandwidth or the time now to get that one done. So this might be it for now in terms of the cape. But yeah, I mean, if you are comfortable, with linings and have done a quick sew pattern before, this might be the one for you. But it wasn't really as easy for me as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I did realize again that I need to work on linings in the new year. So that's what I hope to get done or practice doing come next year. So I'm going to show you a couple of pictures now, or rather a video of me in my cape, and you'll kind of see the sizing and the fit on me. And I'll also show you that that buttonhole, that me made buttonhole that just did not turn out right. All right, so that is the cape. And while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and let you guys know I did work on another pattern. And this was really easy to come. Like, this took me just like literally one day from cut to construction. And I mean, it was nice and easy. A great palette cleanse for me, having come off of this cape adventure. And was the Simplicity pants. It was Simplicity 9132, and they are easy to sew pants, and they truly are easy to sew. One pattern piece literally cut flat, on the fabric. You cut it twice. The notions for this pattern is just simply elastic or an optional tie. If you wanted to put a tie on the front, you could do that, but I chose not to do that. I just did a simple elastic waistband on these pants, and I did cut a size extra large. The extra large gave me 1.5 inches of ease, and I do feel like in the front it's a little bit big, but I do like the way it fits around my belly area. So I might have to play around a little bit more with the sizing on this one, maybe try to size down and maybe do some grading, but we'll see. But I did have to cut off quite a few inches though, because they were very long. So I actually cut off 5 inches of fabric on the bottom of these pants, because, or not at the bottom, but on the pattern piece where it tells you your cut line is, I went ahead and cut the 5 inches off from there, which gave them a length of 38 versus a length of 43. And this was very simple too, in terms of the machine settings. I used the length was a 2.5, the width was a 2.5, and I just used a basic denim needle. Now the good thing about these pants is that this helped me sew down some of my fabric a little bit, because I've got lots of fabric. What I realized is I don't have a lot of woven fabrics now. I started off not having a lot of knit fabric. Now I do have knits, but not enough woven. So I don't know how that happened. But anyway, I did go ahead and use some, I found at the Goodwill store about a year or two ago, 4 curtain panels that were red, and they reminded me so much of just red denim. They were really nice in quality. So I put those away, and I said I'll hold on to them until I can think of something I want to make. So I thought making these pants with those curtains would have been a great idea, and I'm so glad I did, because they turned out really nice. Plus, with them being red, it's for the holiday. I will probably wear them on Christmas. We'll see. But I don't have any videos of me in this just yet, or pictures, but you'll get that once I go ahead and decide to wear them, which will likely be on Christmas Day. But yeah, so I was happy to be able to get those done. I did have to grade out a little bit once I cut the length of the fabric, the pattern piece a little bit, because once I cut it, it made the bottom half of the pattern piece a little bit shorter. It wasn't as wide as the top half. So I had to do some adding of some tracing paper to make it all, line up properly. But again, the pants turned out nice. I like them. I think I am going to make another pair. Again, I might size down. I'm not sure, but we'll see about that. So yeah, so that will conclude this video, sharing my cape experience, and then also showing you all the one-day pants I made. And I'm thanking you for watching my video, and let me know what you're working on. How are you feeling this holiday season? And until we come together again, take care and God bless.